It was supposed to be just another game day, another chance for Angel Reese to prove herself, silence the critics, and dominate on the court. But what happened in the hours that followed sent shockwaves through the entire WNBA. Cameras caught the moment it all began, Angel storming down the tunnel, fists clenched, eyes filled with rage, teammates frozen in disbelief. She snapped hand. Nothing has been the same since. What started as tension behind closed doors exploded into a full-blown fallout that's now playing out in front of millions. Her teammates distancing themselves, her WNBA peers her on social media, pulling back from interviews, refusing even to stand next to her in pre-game lineups. And Angel, silent, visibly broken, no press, no statements, just cryptic messages and tearful exits. This isn't just about one argument, or one mistake. This is about a player who once had the league eating out of her hand, now being iced out like a stranger. What happened to cause this rift? Who leaked what from the locker room? And why are even her closest allies turning their backs? The truth is more brutal than anyone expected, and it might just end Angel Reese's WNBA career for good. Angel Reese didn't just arrive in the WNBA, she stormed in. From viral taunts at LSU to becoming a Reebok-backed powerhouse, she was supposed to be women's basketball's future. Her name was everywhere. Nicknamed the Bayou Barbie, she brought swagger, confidence, and unapologetic energy to a league desperate for marketable stars. Paired with her massive social media following and outspoken personality, Reese was the league's walking headline machine. When she was drafted to the Chicago Sky, the franchise hoped she'd bring not only wins but ticket sales, media attention, and a new era of relevance. And at first, she delivered. Packed arenas, national coverage, fans screaming her name in cities she hadn't even played in yet. She was the kind of rookie that could carry a franchise on her back, until the cracks started to show. Behind the glitz, there were whispers. Angel wasn't gelling with teammates, practices were tense, her commitment was questioned. Insiders spoke about a growing divide between the coaching staff and Reese, who reportedly clashed with team leadership over play calls, minutes, and her role. Publicly, everything seemed fine, smiled for the cameras, and gave polished interviews. But privately, teammates were growing resentful of her spotlight and attitude. Then came the All-Star voting debacle. Despite being one of the most recognizable names in the league, Reese didn't make the final All-Star cut. Fans were stunned. Media questioned the process. Reese herself stayed silent, but sources close to the situation say she was furious. Everything from internal sabotage to biased media coverage, Reebok had already planned a major campaign around her All-Star presence. And suddenly, that deal was hanging by a thread. As the snub unfolded, reports began circulating that Angel confronted several teammates in the locker room, accusing them of not backing her publicly. Things escalated quickly. Words were exchanged. Someone left in tears. Others stopped speaking to her entirely. Still, she pushed forward, trying to prove the league and her teammates, but the pressure only mounted. Her on-court performance dipped. Analysts began dissecting her every move. And then, the viral clip hit. Angel Reese walking onto the court for a home game, and being completely ignored by the crowd. No cheers, no applause, just awkward silence. A moment that should have been triumphant was now haunting. Suddenly, the headlines changed. Has Angel Reese lost the fans? Chicago Sky in turmoil. WNBA stars unfollow Angel Reese after locker room blow-up. And the fallout only worsened from there. What started as a superstar trajectory had veered into controversy, and Angel Reese found herself isolated, criticized, and questioned, all while under the brightest spotlight in the league. Now, with the WNBA world watching her every step, the question becomes, can she bounce back, or has the downfall of Angel Reese already begun? The moment everything truly unraveled came not in a game, but in a team meeting that was supposed to clear the air. According to multiple insiders close to the Chicago Sky organization, tensions reached a boiling point behind closed doors just days after the All-Star snub. The coaching staff had called a mandatory players-only meeting to address team chemistry and expectations. But what they got was a war zone. Angel Reese reportedly came into the meeting already on edge, still reeling from the All-Star disaster and the quiet cold shouldering from her teammates. Sources say she sat at the front of the room, arms crossed, visibly frustrated. As the team captain tried to kick things off, Reese allegedly interrupted, "Let's stop pretending. Y'all have had a problem with me since day one." The room went silent. One veteran player, who has since unfollowed Reese on social media, reportedly responded, "It's not that we have a problem with you. It's how you act like this whole team revolves around you. It doesn't." What followed was a flurry of finger-pointing accusations and emotional outbursts. Multiple players walked out mid. The atmosphere was described as toxic, unfixable, and beyond basketball. That would have been damaging enough. But the twist. A recording of the meeting was leaked. Within 24 hours, clips surfaced online of the heated exchange. While some audio was muffled, several parts were crystal clear. One player could be heard saying, "I'm sick of walking on eggshells around her," while another shouted, "You care more about your brand than this team." Angel's voice cut through it all with a chilling line, "Y'all wouldn't even be talked about if it wasn't for me." The internet exploded. Hashtag Angel Reese trended for the wrong reasons. Sports podcasts dissected every word of the leaked recording. Former players chimed in. Commentators debated whether the Sky could even finish the season without a complete roster overhaul. And worse, fans began to turn. Not just opposing fans, but her fans. People who had once called her the face of the WNBA now called her divisive, self-absorbed, and a locker room cancer. That's when reports of team meetings being cancelled started circulating. Practices shortened. Players showing up late. Some even skipping optional workouts entirely. The Chicago Sky locker room, once billed as a young and promising squad building toward a championship future, now looked like a fractured empire crumbling in real time. And Reebok, the company that had once centered their campaign around Angel, was said to be reevaluating future promotional commitments. Executives were reportedly blindsided by the locker room fallout and were concerned about how the negative publicity could affect the brand's image. Sources inside the organization even claimed that Reese's All-Star activation budget was quietly frozen, pending further developments. What started as a chance to bounce back became a full-blown crisis. Angel Reese was no longer just fighting for her place in the All-Star spotlight. She was now fighting to keep her team, her endorsements, and her future from slipping away entirely. And nobody could have predicted what would come next, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse for Angel Reese. The situation escalated beyond anyone's imagination. As the leaked locker room audio continued to dominate headlines, a shocking new development came from inside the league office. A high-ranking WNBA official, speaking anonymously, revealed that the league had launched an internal investigation, not just into the leak itself, but into Angel Reese's behavior and conduct throughout the season. The trigger, multiple complaints filed by players and staff from not just the Chicago Sky, but other teams as well. According to sources familiar with the matter, the complaints centered on what was described as a pattern of disrespectful behavior, unsportsmanlike conduct, and failure to uphold the league's code of professionalism. While details remain sealed, some allegations included verbal altercations with opponents, dismissive treatment of team personnel, and a growing list of incidents where Reese allegedly refused to participate fully in team activities if cameras weren't present. And then came the bombshell. The Chicago Sky's coaching staff had quietly filed a formal report to the front office weeks before the All-Star break. The report allegedly recommended that Angel Reese be benched for multiple games, not due to performance, but due to disruptive influence on team culture. The front office, fearing public backlash and damage to ticket sales, reportedly chose to ignore the recommendation. But now, with the situation spinning out of control, that decision looked like a ticking time bomb. The WNBA's investigation created immediate consequences. Media access to the Chicago Sky was temporarily restricted. Team press conferences were shortened. All players were instructed not to speak about internal dynamics. Angel Reese canceled several scheduled interviews and public appearances without explanation. On social media, she went silent, and just when the pressure cooker seemed ready to explode, another twist hit the internet like a lightning bolt. Angel Reese's private group chat with close friends and influencers was leaked. In this group chat, which included several screenshots and voice memos, Reese reportedly vented her frustrations about the team, the league, and even specific teammates by name. One particularly damning quote that spread like wildfire across Twitter and Instagram read, "They mad 'cause I shine. I'm not about to shrink just to make these other girls feel good about themselves. The backlash was instant. Former WNBA players and analysts weighed in, with many defending Reese's talent but questioning her leadership. Fans began posting side-by-side comparisons of her selfish quotes with videos of her walking away from team huddles or refusing post-game handshakes. Even some of her brand collaborators quietly scrubbed her name from promotional posts. But perhaps the most shocking moment of all came when its Sky teammate anonymously told a sports blog, "We've tried. We really have. But it's like she's in her own world and the rest of us are just props." Suddenly, it wasn't just a locker room issue or a PR problem. It was a full-blown identity crisis for the Chicago Sky, and the biggest star they had banked their future on. And the reactions from the public and the league's power players were just beginning to pour in. The fallout from the leaked chat and ongoing investigations sent a seismic wave through the sports world. The WNBA community, once captivated by Angel Reese's charisma and edge, now found itself bitterly divided. On social media, the hashtag Reese Revolt began trending, as fans who had once cheered her on during March Madness now questioned whether the fame had gone to her head. Tweets poured in, some defending her fire and authenticity, while others called for her to be benched indefinitely or even traded. One viral post read, "Angel Reese was never the problem, until the spotlight made her forget the team behind her. Fame is a mirror, and now we're all seeing the cracks." Meanwhile, ESPN dedicated an entire 30-minute segment to the controversy, with former players like Swin Cash and Chinny Ogumik weighing in. Chinny, while acknowledging Reese's marketability, didn't hold back. "This league is built on unity, resilience, and respect. If a player, no matter how talented, starts becoming a distraction, it damages more than just a locker room. It damages the legacy we're all trying to build." The WNBA Players Association released a carefully worded statement, citing the importance of player dignity and internal accountability, while not naming Reese directly. But the message was clear: they were watching, and they weren't happy. What made the situation worse was the silence from those closest to her. Shaquille O'Neal, who had previously taken Angel under his wing, was noticeably absent from the discussion. LSU coach Kim Mulkey, usually vocal in her support of her former star, dodged questions in a press conference, saying only, "I hope Angel takes some time to reflect. Growth doesn't stop when you leave college." But it was Caitlin Clark, her former rival turned colleague, who surprised everyone. In a press interview following a Fever game, when asked about the situation, she simply said, "I hope she's okay." That short.com comment struck a nerve. It was mature. It was pointed. And it stood in stark contrast to the chaos surrounding Reese. Even the brands that had aligned themselves with Reese, Reebok, Tampax, and Amazon Prime, began to quietly pivot. One insider source leaked that Reebok is reevaluating its summer campaign rollout, with Reese's images quietly pulled from select digital promotions. And yet, amid the noise, one question remained unanswered. Would Angel Reese fight to win back the locker room or walk away before the storm fully hit? What happened next, no one saw coming. Just when it seemed the storm couldn't get any worse, an anonymous source inside the Chicago Sky organization dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves across the entire sports world. Angel Reese was officially being left out of the next team road trip. No public announcement, no official statement, just quietly removed from the travel roster. This wasn't about rest or load management. This was a statement loud and clear from the front office and coaching staff. Angel was no longer untouchable. The team, scrambling to manage the media frenzy, leaked internal memos suggesting that personal reasons were behind her absence. But insiders weren't buying it. One assistant coach, speaking under condition of anonymity, said, "She's lost the locker room, period." Some players flat out refused to share the court with her after what happened. And in a gut-wrenching twist, it wasn't just teammates turning away. Shaq, once her most vocal supporter and mentor, reportedly reached out privately, but only to say he was stepping back until she could get her head and heart right. The silence from the one man she considered family was louder than any tweet. Then came the kicker. On a late-night Instagram Live, just as rumors about a potential trade were circulating, Angel Reese appeared teary-eyed and unusually quiet. No filters, no glam, just raw emotion. "I don't know if I want to do this anymore," she whispered. "I gave y'all everything. And now I feel like I'm standing out here by myself." And with that, she ended the stream. No explanations, no clarifications. Just silence. Fans flooded her page with messages of support, while others demanded accountability. Sports media began speculating wildly. Was this a mental health cry for help, a soft retirement announcement, or a strategic move before contract talks? Suddenly, the story shifted again. It wasn't just about locker room drama anymore. It was about Angel Reese's entire future. Would she return to the court and reclaim her crown? or walk away from it all. Because now, for the first time since she entered the spotlight, Angel Reese looked like she might actually be done. And nobody knows what she'll do next. This is the moment where everything hangs in the balance. Angel Reese, once the proud face of a new generation in women's basketball, now stands on the edge of the unknown. Her all-star disaster, locker room collapse, public fallout, and that haunting livestream have fans, analysts, and even teammates wondering, is this truly the end for Angel Reese? But here's where you come in. We want to hear from the real fans, the people who followed her journey from LSU glory to WNBA chaos. Do you believe Angel Reese can bounce back from this? Is this just a rough chapter in an otherwise legendary career, or has the damage gone too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Be honest, be bold. Should Angel take time off? Should she stay and fight through the pressure? Or is it time to move on? And if you've been following all the insane drama, Shaq backing off, teammates freezing her out, that chilling benching before the road trip, you already know there's more to this story. So hit that subscribe button, because the next 24 hours could change Angel Reese's career forever. We've got insiders digging, more locker room leaks incoming, and new footage rumored to drop that could flip everything on its head. And don't forget to smash that like button if you're here for the real, raw truth behind the headlines. We don't sugarcoat. We don't hold back. This channel is where the uncensored WNBA drama lives. Turn on your notifications, because the moment Angel makes her next move, whether it's a comeback, a breakdown, or a shocking retirement, hear it here first. That story isn't over. It's just getting started.